Hey folks, Mickey back here with you again. I was just watching Jasper here from, this is Mr. Sunshine Baby. And please, everybody, go check him out. The guy is one of the biggest YouTubers here in Canada with almost 400,000 subscribers. So please go check him out. He's ex military and he knows what he's talking about. Um, but he tells it in plain English. So there's this interview with Justin Trudeau, and I'm going to stop it here and there, but just listen to this bullshit that this, I'm going to come right out and say it. YouTube's not going to like what I say, but I'm not a monetized channel. That's why I'm going to ask that if anybody sees this video to please push it out to as many people as you can. So let's get into this, will we?
Go and vote. I don't think there's ever been this much excitement to go and vote, and I'm pretty excited. Now let's take a look at some comments that Justin Trudeau has recently said. This was shared by Government Corrupt on X. Justin Trudeau calls Pierre Poilievre a phony who uses people for photo ops and pushes fear, division, chaos because he's scared.
After years of Harper underinvestment, years of Harper cuts and austerity, we're pushing ahead on national pharmacare, making insulin free for every Canadian who needs it, and providing free prescription contraceptives because we not only believe in a woman's right to choose, we act on it.
You know why? Because you are a fucking woman. You turned every one of the people here in Canada into fucking pussies. You take away our rights. You've been convicted twice of ethics violations. You invoked the Emergency Act, which was illegal. And so what you do, you and your government are appealing that decision, even though it came right from the Supreme Court of Canada. That's how much of a fucking coward you are. When people went looking for you, you were nowheres to be found. Were you? When you were during the protests, where were you? All you had to do is make face come out, with a pair of balls that you say that you have, and talk to the people. But no, you want to do things your way. Well, guess what? Us Canadians don't give a fuck what you say anymore.
As of last week, our Canadian dental care plan has already helped over 500,000 previously uninsured Canadians get the dental service.
That's not really true either. It was brought out before that this dental care program is not free.
This is dental care they deserve. And we've been able to do all this because we've been responsible with taxpayer dollars delivered.
Responsible, eh? $1 billion slush fund, $15 billion to Volkswagen, an $8 million barn, $1.5 million on your deck, and the list goes on and on, Trudeau. SNC Lavalin, the Wee scandal. What about when you allowed Canadian terrorists to come back from Guantanamo Bay? Omar Khadr, and then what'd you do? You allowed this government to pardon him. I can't see how you can pardon somebody that was convicted in another country. For one, I believe that whole pardon is illegal, and I believe that the U.S. should contest it. And for you to give him over $10.5 million and then be able to give him a passport so that he can go on all different talk shows and make even more money about how he was a terrorist? Or how about all the ISIS fighters that you repatriated back into Canada? The list goes on and on and on, Justin. You're just a fucking pansy-ass goof.
The lowest deficit amongst advanced industrialized nations, and the lowest net government debt in the G7.
That's not true either. We have one of the highest debts in the G7.
Programs can be cut, protections unraveled, and progress undone. I don't need to remind you of the Harper years. You know that those were dark days, and you know
Not as dark as the days that your government has given us in the last 9 years.
that we can't afford to go back. Unfortunately, that's what Pierre Poilievre's conservatives are proposing. Pierre Poilievre used you for photo ops to pretend he.
No, he didn't. He went out and he actually had town hall meetings and rallies and that, and he was talking to the people. He didn't need 15, 20 CSIS fucking special services guards to walk around. He didn't need 15 fucking vehicles to drive people around in just to protect your ass. You know, if you were really a person for the people, you would actually get out and talk to the people and you wouldn't have 27,000 fucking guards around you. But no, you're a fucking asshole. You know it. You know, who was the 14-year-old girl in the picture? The one with the brown ringlet hair, Justin, that was sitting on your lap in the school photo. Who was that?
He's a friend to working people. But the truth is, he's a phony. He thinks you're all suckers. But above all, he's scared of you.
Pierre is not scared of him. Like I just said, he's not the one going out with all this protection around him. He can actually walk down the streets and people will come up and talk to him. But you, people just want to smash you in the fucking chiclets and watch you fucking bleed out. You know, I'm not suggesting anybody do that by all means. I do not condone those. But that's what the average Canadian right now would rather do to you.
Every conservative before him, he's scared of what workers can accomplish when they organize. He's scared because when workers organize, they demand better. They push to make government work for working people.
This guy has lost his mind. He is still blaming Harper after he's been prime minister for 9 years. It doesn't make any sense at all. And I'd love to know, of course, what you guys think down below in the comments.
So, this is, I took this from Mr. Sunshine Babies. So, and please, everybody, go over, like, share, and subscribe to Mr. Sunshine Baby. Let's get him over 400,000 subscribers. And he also has a second channel called House of Canada, where he broadcasts every question period so that it's out there live for you to watch so that you can actually see how our government reacts and what they do in Parliament and how they act. So please go check them out. And, you know, if there was ever a time for Canadians to really unite, is to unite against the Liberals. They have killed our country. And the NDP, as far as I'm concerned, Jagmeet Singh should not even be allowed to be the leader, in my personal opinion. So let's just get that straight. My personal opinion. He's got some very sketchy backgrounds. You know, the guy grew up in Beverly Hills. He likes to walk around with Gucci bags and Rolex watches and BMWs and hang out in Beverly Hills. You know, or at least he used to. I don't even know if he's allowed back in the States anymore. But here, there, that's something for you guys to check out. So, but when you got him saying, Jughead, whatever you want to call him, yeah, I call him Jughead or Meathead, one of the two, Singh. He is only in this for his $2 million pension. And if you go back onto House of Canada and you watch how this has all evolved over the last year and how the NDP got that coalition with the Liberal government so that this way then Jagmeet Singh would get his pension along with a few other people that are in his cabinet and in Justin Trudeau's cabinet. And they actually changed the election date by a couple of days here in Canada um, for similar reasons to do with liberals so that they could get their pension. Now, if you really think you're that great and you think that you're going to win, then just call an election and prove it. You can't because you know you're going to lose and you know you would lose your pension. And if that's all you're in it for, get the fuck out. Go. Just go. There's over 1.5 million emergency shelter beds in this country. Every one of them are full. If you go into them, depending on what part of Canada you're in, they're just basically either immigration centers or for drug addicts. I went across Canada, not the way I wanted to, but I spent time going across from coast to coast. And in that time, in BC, if you're not a junkie, you don't get any help. If you're, I've been 30 years clean, almost 31 years clean. I don't do drugs. I don't do alcohol. I smoke a little bit of pot. I drink coffee, and I smoke cigarettes. That's it. For over 30 years now, almost 31 years. And I could not get any help in all of BC. But if I was a drug addict, I would have got all the help I needed. Do we see where this is going? There's over 9,000 emergency beds in the city of Toronto alone. Do you know that there's only one number that you can call now for every shelter? They have a central unit that one line that you call for all the shelters all across Toronto. The same thing just happened here in Moncton. There's a few shelters here. It's now gone to the worst shelter, and they're the ones that tell other, like, there's the House in Nazareth, Harvest House, and then you have the Hub. The Hub is the worst of the worst. But in order to get into Harvest House or the House of Nazareth, you have to go through the Hub. And what they do is they find to see if there's any beds available at other places. But what they don't tell you is that you end up staying at the Hub first because the people that are at the Hub get those first chances to go to a different shelter. So, and if you're not a junkie, if you're just a regular person down on your luck, like me this year where my house burnt down, I needed an emergency shelter. I got used and abused so bad in those places in the 4 or 5 weeks that I had to use them. And the thing of it is that this is what I did for over 30 years. I started working in shelters before this guy was born. In 1985, I started working in shelters. I was 18. In 2004, I got my addiction counseling certificate. I'm an addiction counselor for 20 years now. I haven't renewed my certificate or anything. I haven't used it in a few years, and I probably won't now because of what Justin Trudeau has done to this country. That, and because of my medical conditions, I can't really do much anymore. But, you know, even if I didn't have these medical conditions, I would never really want to get back into that profession again because it is just, it's gone out of control. You know, I thought that drugs were illegal in Canada, period. You know, what happened, 8 years ago? You got caught with a joint. Man, you're going to jail over fucking weed. Now it's legal. And a lot, some people got their charges expunged through that. It doesn't matter. We have people out there doing fentanyl that can, one little lick of fentanyl could kill a kid. We have needles all around in our parks. We have crack pipes and meth pipes and you name it pipes all over the place. Right outside, right across the street from my house, there's a place that they use that they go down there in the trees. The cops are there, twice a day. They were there this morning already. And the bylaw enforcement's been back again already, just kicking people out of there because they go down there to just do drugs. They leave their shit. There's a huge park. I'm really close to the Petitcodiac River here in downtown Moncton, and all along the park edge is or the water's edge is a big park. There's baseball fields. There's entertainment areas. There's walking paths that go all the way along the Petitcodiac, and there's homeless encampments there. There's homeless encampments right across the street. 3 doors down on the other side of the street, there's people setting up tents there. Right across the street, up about 2 blocks from here, right across from the Atlantic Lottery Corporation, there's a bunch of trees. They're using that right by the tracks. There's another one right in there. They're all over the place here. They're not allowed to pitch a tent because it's illegal to pitch a tent in the city of Moncton. So it's basically illegal to be homeless here. But the city mayor has causes along with Justin Trudeau. When I started working in Harvest House back in 2005 here at Moncton, we had only a couple of people staying on a mat on the floor. We did almost $1 million renovation, added a whole second floor. There's holds over 75 people now, constantly full. The House of Nazareth holds almost 80, 85 people, constantly full. The Hub, few hundred, I think it's 100 people or something like that, 120 people, constantly full. And then you got all these people sleeping out along the side of the streets here and that. Down by where I used to live at the trailer park, down in the woods there's 3 or 4 tents set up there. There's a whole city set up in there. You go down further by Magnetic Hill, they're right in there. They're all over the place here in Moncton. And we're a city of Moncton, Riverview, and Dieppe. The combined cities, we have about 100 and I think it's about 160,000 people. And when you have this many homeless just in Moncton, we're not talking about over in Riverview yet or down in Dieppe yet, the other parts of it. And what about Shediac? One of the nicest places in the East Coast, Parlay Beach, one of the nicest beaches in New Brunswick, right along the Atlantic coast. You got trash everywhere now. They rather set up all these big, spend money and give more money to mental health workers and put more mental health workers out on the street. Instead, why don't they take the mental health off the street? Build a huge building in each city where it's like we have special care homes, but they only hold about 8 or 10 people. They're spread out all over the place too, and that's the thing. And what do we call people that are addicted to drugs? Well, it's an addiction, which is part of mental health, which is the healthcare system. So why not put them back into it, clean them up, give them a place to stay, get them off the streets, reduce the crime, reduce the amount of insurance that stores have to pay out to help bring down the cost of this. We spend millions and millions and hundreds of millions of dollars just in courts because of mental health. We need to relook at this whole mental health act, and we need to get them off the street. So until next time, folks, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Go over to Mr. Sunshine Baby, tell him Ashcan 2 sent you, and I will see you on the next one.